So Poopy Ethan Klein maliciously doxed me during the most recent episode of his podcast. He stated my real name no less than 17 times, and also showed it on the screen a few dozen more times. This is not information that I have ever publicly revealed on my own volition. It has only ever been disseminated via doxing, pretty much the most doxing kind of doxing in fact. It was taken from government databases by right-wing trolls in Argentina at the end of 2023 and then spread by them. And now Ethan Klein is spreading it as well, in flagrant violation of YouTube's terms of service. And if you're interested in a more detailed explanation of that, I have a whole long-ass video going over the whole saga of those people doxing me, and these are the people who Ethan Klein appears to be working with now to try and disseminate my dox even further after their previous attempts to dox me and get me killed failed. The information that Ethan Klein has been disseminating actually comes quite directly from the people who originally doxed me. He has been citing paid far-right doxer Drew Pavlu, who originally obtained this information from the Argentine government employees who illegally disseminated it from government databases. So yeah, the link is extremely direct. Ethan Klein seems to think that he can get away with doxing on YouTube, that he can literally disseminate information stolen from government databases illegally. This has, of course, resulted in me receiving tons of messages from his fans with vivid descriptions of just how they're going to use my personal information to kill me. Like this one, this one, this one, and this one. Precisely what Ethan Klein was trying to incite by spreading this. This man is so pathetically unable to respond to my actual videos where I refute his Zionist talking points that this is what he resorts to. This is part of a clear pattern of doxing and harassment on the H3 podcast. What he tried to do to me is not even a fraction of what they've done to others, and we'll be getting into that in a minute as well. But the divulgation of private information non-consensually is one of the few things that YouTube actually does take rather seriously. They have a legal privacy violation complaint form, which you can use to report the non-consensual dissemination of your private information. One of these instances of private information being your full real name. The offender in this case doesn't actually have any recourse. Their only option is to either censor the private information from the offending video within 48 hours, delete the video, or leave it up to YouTube's legal team reviewing the video after those 48 hours are up. They get no right to respond, they get no right to try and explain themselves, no right to try and justify what they did. I've used this complaint system in a number of other cases, and every single time when someone was spreading my docs like this, sometimes by accident, sometimes on purpose, YouTube has sided with me. They have either deleted the video and actioned the person in question, or the person in question has censored or removed the part of the video where they doxed me. Usually when they do it, it's because they didn't know this was private information and it was just an honest mistake. So if the H3 podcast is treated like every other YouTuber here, then this podcast episode should either be massively censored, which will be difficult for them to do, given that they mentioned my name so many times within it that they'd basically just have to cut out the entire episode, or it will need to be entirely deleted. Or at least that's what would happen if they were treated the same as other YouTubers. In reality, big YouTubers tend to be treated a lot differently and tend to be given a lot more grace by YouTube to just blatantly break the terms of service. I find it difficult to believe, for example, that I wouldn't get banned, or at least have my video deleted if I was to, say, repeat Ethan Klein's easy-to-find address 17 times in one video. Obviously, just because you can find it doesn't mean that it's not doxing to share it. The only case where it is not doxing is when the person has shared it of their own volition. And that is how YouTube's community guidelines understand the offense quite clearly. They don't care if you can find the information elsewhere because others doxed the person before you got around to doing it. All they care about is that it was shared without the permission of the person in question. So if Ethan Klein is treated with any sort of equality to other creators, then his latest podcast episode should be deleted within 48 hours. But then again, is he treated equally to other creators? Given that he has been just openly doxing people for months on his podcast for weeks at this point, perhaps not. Ethan has been trying to justify this by saying that he found my personal information in other places, which is just him arguing that if someone else doxes you first, that means that you're fair game, which again, I'd love to see him apply that logic to his own personal information, which is just out there on the internet all over the place, and which he doubtlessly would throw a fit at if I was to share it. I mean, this is a guy who said during his latest podcast episode that telling him to clean his shit is a threat.
He sent me an email just right now. I sent you a picture. He said, Or not right now. Let's see. When did he send? He sent it at 8:50 a.m. He says, "Clean your shit. Don't eat it," which I don't know is a threat.
So yeah, he would definitely consider it a threat for me to share his address, even though it is rather easy to find. Yet he seems to think it's okay for him to share my own personal information, as he makes the argument that it's fine room to do so because others doxed me before he got around to doing it. Very genius logic there, and also very irrelevant, given that YouTube does not give a single shit about it. YouTube's terms of service are clear, and if their terms of service are equally applied to all creators, Ethan Klein should be getting his podcast episode fully deleted within 48 hours. If not, then we can say definitively that YouTube treats bigger creators differently to everyone else, and that bigger channels like the H3 podcast are given a free pass by the YouTube higher-ups to dox. As I said at the beginning though, he's done way worse to other people. Here is Ethan Klein doxing live on his podcast a random Instagram commenter, a former fan of his, who told his wife, Hila Klein, a fixture on his show to go to hell. Ethan Klein scrolls through their Instagram, finds their family members, commands his audience to look into the guy and to harass him, and his crew member, Abdullah Ayad, make sure that the audience knows precisely where the guy lives. This resulted in this guy receiving tons of death threats and his family members receiving death threats as well from the H3H3 community, all at Ethan Klein's command. Don't believe me? Let me show you. Here's the original clip.
Matching swastika adjacent tattoos. Man, I'm being obsessed with you guys when you only had 15K subs. Glad that's behind me. Enjoy hell. This guy's for real. Joe Coop. Look this guy up. Enjoy hell. He said enjoy hell.
Yeah. No, I mean, they think I'm actually the devil.
I feel like this one's real. We caught you, Joe. Public-facing account.
Joe.
I see you. You wanted to be cute? Let's see it. Nice mustache. Strong entry. Not exactly the Esteban, but halfway there.
He's not. Oh yeah.
Yes, he's a real guy.
Blocked him 'cause he's not showing up for me.
So this is Joe Coop. He left a message on Hila's Star David tattoo. He said, "I'm glad that phase is behind me. Enjoy hell." Joe Coop said. Let's start David. Here he is. If anyone, let's see if I know, can identify him at all.
Oh shit! That weenie truck he's in front of. That's in Dearborn.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's
Dearborn owns the Oscar Mayer truck?
It's at the Henry Ford Museum. Yeah, they also have the.
Wait, it doesn't travel around?
Yeah, I thought it tried.
I mean, it used to in like the '60s, unless there's multiple.
Which one's Joe? Let's see. I think it's this guy.
No.
That's Joe
That doesn't
Coop.
look anything like him.
No, no, it is. Here, let me show you. That's him.
Right.
That's him right there. Trust me, when I see an anti-Semite, I know I can spot him.
Wow. Spot him from a crowd.
That's him. So I don't know if you guys all know that, but your friend Joe here actually is a fucking giant racist piece of shit. And like he likes to tell Jewish people they're going to hell on Instagram on his public profile. I don't know if any of you guys know him, but certainly anyone who would employ him or probably even his parents would be pretty disappointed to see that, although who knows. Here's his mom. I'm not going to click that for her. Oh, no, you know what? Fuck him. This is what you... Here's your mom. I wonder if she knows what you do on social media on your free time. You love your mama. Good thing she's not Jewish, hey, Joe? I love it. I love it.
Now, if I did something like that to anyone, the video of me doing it would be deleted at the very least, and I would at the very least get a warning or a strike, and rightfully so. But Ethan Klein did that to this guy live on his stream, a clear instance of doxing and harassment by YouTube's own guidelines, and the video is still up. Nothing has happened to him as a result of this. Ethan Klein and his fans are so obsessive and malicious that they even went and found revenge porn of this guy and disseminated it. And this sort of thing is just like an average week on the H3 podcast. In fact, his community at his command has only been escalating against this person, sending him more and more death threats, threatening to track down and kill his mother, who they doxed as well, and threatening to track down, rape and kill his underage sister, which, to be clear, is something that is not at all out of line for Ethan Klein's fans to want to do, given that Ethan Klein himself has sexually harassed a teenage terrorism victim in the past. Check this clip out.
Boy. What can you say about a photo like this? She's got a nice. I fuck her face. She got a nice smug face. Good to fuck. I would ram I would ram that 2-inch cock so far down her throat, about 2 inches deep. But that's enough to incur a gag reflex in about, I would say, most women. And I hope she can keep that smug smile for me that whole time. You know what I mean? Yeah, girl. Let me fuck that smug little face of yours, boy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Ethan Klein for you right there. I guess the fans learn from the best. Now, apart from Ethan Klein constantly doxing people, literally live on YouTube on his podcast and somehow getting away with it, he also does it off-platform frequently, mostly in his Instagram stories, which he uses because he's deathly afraid of anyone being able to respond to him publicly, because he knows that he would just get ratioed in any sort of environment where he was subject to public scrutiny. For example, just a few weeks ago, Ethan Klein tracked down a random guy who left him a mean comment in a stream chat, found the guy's Facebook, and then posted it publicly to his viewers, hoping that his viewers would do their specialty, send death and rape threats. He does this sort of thing constantly. And it is literally all that his internet presence is dedicated to. He doesn't make content, he doesn't do anything. All he does is complain about people criticizing him, dox them, and tell his audience to target them. This is someone who, if they did not have such a big channel, if they did not have previous good grace of YouTube, they would have already been banned. Pretty much no creator with less than 1 million subscribers could ever get away with this sort of thing. And Ethan Klein is just blatantly breaking the YouTube community guidelines and the YouTube terms of service pretty much every single time he boots up his podcast, and getting away with it every single time. The question is, when will it stop? I'm going to link in the description here the offending episodes of the H3 podcast with timestamps that everyone should report, given their clear violations of the YouTube community guidelines. And all of you should do everything that you can to make sure that YouTube gets eyes on this. Apart from reporting the offending content and filing your own privacy complaints if Ethan Klein has violated your privacy on his podcast, as I did, you should also tweet at Team YouTube on Twitter, which weirdly is one of the only real ways to get in direct contact with YouTube support, and tell them politely, calmly, and in detail what he has been doing on his channel with links to specific timestamps and examples. His podcast can scarcely go a single episode without doxing someone and trying to sick his fans on them, and there is simply no way that he would be getting away with this if he wasn't being given special treatment from YouTube. Anyway, I'd like to end this video with Ethan Klein going on a minutes-long tangent about how his entire family got the parasite Giardia from what he implies was eating dog poop.
The next part is...
What's the next one?
that Olive has Giardia, which is it's a bacterial infection in the intestines that makes you have diarrhea.
And Olive has this?
Olive has this, yeah. She came to us with it.
Okay.
She had diarrhea, and...
Oh, poor baby.
Ducky came to us with that too. And I just wonder why...
It's relatively common.
It should be... They should have found it already. But anyway, so she has Giardia, so we have her on an antibiotic, but we had to wait until Monday, which is today. We just got it today. And, well... Sonny's crawling around. He's putting everything in his mouth. He's at that age. He has Giardia.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
And now Ela has Giardia.
Shut. For real?
And now I think this morning I had diarrhea.
Oh my god.
What can I do to not get it from
Yeah,
you?
I'm trying
Yeah,
to...
what?
Because I'm not trying to get
Can
No,
we crank the
it's-
AC, maybe?
Is it?
It's extremely ridiculous to get. You have to ingest my poop. Are you planning on that?
Never.
Not really.
So then you're fine.